Dear audience, do subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that you will be first notified when I upload a new video. This channel is to help you break away from any forms of subjectivity. Seeing things clearly and objectively will make you a calm and peaceful person. I am promoting the reflection process with logical thinking and to demonstrate how to do reflection process objectively with logical thinking. My question is, how do you do reflection? Did you just sit there and look back what you did, then try to analyze what you did wrong, or thinking what others did and how things went wrong? Well, the point is, in a lot of situations, it is not about right or wrong. It is a matter of what works. Even if it is right or wrong, then it is a matter of the angle of viewpoints. If the basis is subjective viewpoints or thoughts, it will be controversial. Like the idiom says, there are always two sides to every point. I think most of the time it is more than two sides. This channel is not about the topic. It is about doing reflection objectively. The topic is just to facilitate the reflection. It has 3 stages in this reflection process. Stage 1 is about facts and information. Stage 2 is about logical thinking, and stage 3 is about action plan. Any thinking without an action plan is meaningless, because ultimately it is about what you do next, how to adjust and move forward, how to improve and better towards success or goal. Do watch this video to the end, because the gist is in the conclusion. Don't skip. If you skip, you might not be able to understand the gist in the conclusion. To be successful in anything, we need to have a combination of qualities. And most people know what these qualities are, such as being ambitious, passionate, determined, having vision, leadership, etc. But my question is, what is the number 1 quality to excel in career and in life? I have been thinking about this. Eventually, I saw this in one of the high achievers who used to be my boss. I think it is very important for me to share with you what I have discovered, as this is the weaving factor of all the top qualities you need to be successful. And this is the factor differentiate the number 1 and number 2. Let's begin with stage 1, mindfulness. Stage 1, mindfulness. This is about facts and information. The topic today is, what is the number 1 quality to excel in career or in anything? Why do I want to talk about this topic? Because this is absolutely important. This is the factor differentiate the number 1 and number 2. Let me share with you a true story. Here you go. When I worked for the first American company in the US, that company was in the midst of power transitioning from the founder or the owner to a group CEO. A group CEO means the owner had identified him 20 years ago as his successor and groomed him over these 20 years. He was not related to the owner. He was not a family member of the owner. He was just an individual who was very intelligent. At that time, I was the vice president of international business development. During the top management meetings, I saw how his mind worked. He literally ran through every step of everything in his mind. I would say all the vice president's positions and above, all of us have the top qualities. That is why we were at the top management. Nonetheless, what made this group CEO different from all of us was the proactive thinking. In every meeting I observed, I could tell that when he spoke or asking questions, his mind went way ahead of us. He has thought of every step of everything in his mind and ahead of us. How? Number one, in the meeting, he was not waiting for us to tell him what's going on. Instead, he proactively asked questions and drive us, pick our brains. He knew exactly what he needed to know, and he was very clear of the current situation. He was not sitting there passively waiting for us to give him the report, the presentation, one by one. Yes, number two, I observed that he had literally walked through every step of everything in his mind ahead of us. I could see the flow of his mind. He was very clear and prepared. These were the facts. These were what I saw and personally experienced. Let's move to the stage 2 and stage 3, logical thinking and action plan. Stage 2 and stage 3, logical thinking and action plan. Well, you may argue that he was the group CEO. Therefore, he should have thought of everything ahead of us. The logic is, if you think so, this is why who you are today. And that's why who he was. He was a high achiever. He excelled in his career and in anything with this number one quality, proactive thinking. Do you see the point? What differentiates the number one and number two is this number one quality. The number one quality is proactive thinking. Now, let me give you my part of the story. Sure, this group CEO was my role model. I copied him and emulated him since then. The fact is, before I saw this quality, I was already a very enthusiastic, energetic, and passionate individual. But all these don't mean proactiveness. The logic is you can be passionate but not proactive. You can be enthusiastic but not proactive. You can be energetic but not proactive. Do you understand? Do you see the point? Let me show you how I did it, how I apply this proactive thinking. Number one, new business development. I was the vice president of international business. When I was assigned the mission to develop a new business, I could have prepared my reports or presentations using a template. This template could have covered everything that I needed to present to the board of directors. But I knew that different investors would have different expectations and they might want something different. Therefore, on top of the template, I walked through every step of everything and realizing that these personal factors did not cover in the template. And I made the effort talking to every individual investor, discovering the expectation of every investor, and also discovering their needs individually. Because these two things, expectation and individual needs, are subjective. As a result, most of the time, after the presentation of the new business development, I hardly receive any question from the floor. As I had covered it all, I have walked through every step of everything in my mind before delivering this presentation. Suddenly, I usually would have some points for decision-making discussion. Number two, manufacturing sales presentation. I used to be a manufacturing sales representative. In all my sales presentations, the people who sat into the meetings were the ones from production, engineering, quality, purchasing, outsourcing, project management, etc. Which means to say that I need to walk through what every one of them are thinking. To do that, I must proactively thinking and finding out what do they want to know so that I can answer all their questions in their mind before asking. I did. Most of the time, after the sales presentation, I hardly receive any questions from the floor because I have answered all the questions in their mind. I have thought through every step of everything ahead of them. Number three, at work. At work, of course, I had many bosses along this career journey. Most of the time, performance-wise, I have been one of their favorites all the time. Being my bosses, their jobs were to assign duties, responsibilities, or missions to me. After that, they didn't have to push me or follow up with me. Instead, I would tell them what I needed from them in terms of support or resources until things get done. Because most of the time, I would have thought through every step of everything, even ahead of them. I would give them everything and anything they needed before asking from me. Now, do you see the common words? Answer them and provided them before asking. Thought of every step of anything ahead of them. This is proactiveness. This is proactive thinking. I have learned that I don't wait for people to tell me what to do. Instead, I would tell them what I need from them. Usually, before taking any action, I would already have a full picture in my mind. I would have thought through every step of everything in my mind. This is proactiveness. This is proactive thinking. Suggestion for action plan is not only think proactively, but also act proactively. Remember, don't wait. Waiting is passive. Keep your mind active. Keep your mind thinking. Run through every step of everything before taking action. When you don't know, don't wait for others to tell you. Do your own research. Proactively do something to find out. This is the fact. When your mind is active, your entire being is active. In conclusion, do you see the point? Being enthusiastic does not mean proactive. Being energetic does not mean proactive. Being passionate does not mean proactive, etc. It is the thinking ahead means thinking proactively. Proactiveness put you ahead of those people who don't think ahead. This is the factor differentiate the number one and number two. This is the number one quality to excel in career or in anything, the proactiveness, the proactive thinking. Dear audience, do subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell so that you will be first notified whenever I upload a new video. This channel is to help you break away from any forms of subjectivity. Seeing things clearly and objectively will make you a calm and peaceful person. I am Alicia Tay, a certified professional coach and an HRDF certified trainer. I am promoting a reflection process with logical thinking to gain clarity. I will continuously demonstrate reflection process with logical thinking in different topics. My concern is your way of doing reflection. I am concerned of the basis of interpreting reflection. Yes, looking into yourself is the first step of doing reflection, but be mindful of what is the basis of your thinking. Are you objective? Before you say yes, understand what is objective. Do you base on facts and information? Are your facts and information credible? Are you doing logical thinking, or you simply think about what others say? Learn to do reflection process objectively by watching Reflection Time with Alicia Tay, because reflection is the beginning of wisdom. Logical thinking leads to clarity. Clarity leads to wisdom. And wisdom leads to purity. Eventually, we want to be a wise person and we want to have a successful and peaceful life. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video.